All right, my friends, we are looking at a program from the guys over at AVC Labs, and this is their new Blur AI program. And the bonus of it is that you may, like me, shoot on occasion with a smartphone. I shoot with an iPhone. Or you may shoot with a, let's say, point and shoot camera or a lower end camera, or maybe you have a nice camera, but the lens isn't super fast, so it doesn't give you that nice shallow depth of field that you were looking for. So AVC Labs has a couple cool tricks with this Video Blur AI in that it can allow you to blur the background, almost like portrait view on an iPhone, but it can also do the reverse, so we can look for a face and blur the face out. So if you got somebody in their shot that said, I don't want to have my face on camera, you can kind of play with that. So this is it here, AVC Labs Blur. And basically all you're going to do is take a video file, and I'll take this one here. This is just a picture of me kind of just walking around, and we'll drop that in there. And you'll see that it goes to an analyze process. And this will, again, really depend a lot on the speed of your computer. I'm doing this on a MacBook M1 Pro, 16 gigs of RAM. It's not a fancy machine. It's not a new machine by any means. And this is also going to have to do with how long the video clip is. So I'm going to let this kind of just run, and we'll show you some of the features once this gets the video ready. So this is the clip here. It's about 12 seconds in length. And you can see if we kind of just move along inside this video here. The background, and you can see it back here. Everybody's, they're a little bit out of focus, but not crazy. So what we can do here is at the top, you'll see things like, you'll see things like license plate blur, background blur, fixed blur, face blur. So what we're going to do here is we'll do a face blur. So if you click on face blur, you can go over here and say all faces, specified faces, custom selections. So you also have a blur type. So if you want to pixelate it, or do you want to just have a blur? So let's say I wanted pixels. I could do that. You have your blur strength. But you'll notice as you go through this clip that my face isn't blurred. So what you have to do is there's a little eye right here, start preview mode. And when you click on that, you'll see that it has to either download or load all the modules, but there it is. It's found me, right? It's got me all pixelated. And now if we go anywhere through this clip, you should see that it's got that pixelated. Now we can come here and click on this blur, and you'll see it blurs the face. We can adjust the strength of the blur depending on, how intense we want that blur to be. But I actually like this pixelated one. So we can kind of just play around in here, just to kind of see what you're looking for. That one there, you'll see it's small, so it doesn't do a lot. This one is probably my favorite for pixelating, and all we're going to do is bring that strength up. And then we export. So I'm going to export this, and then I'll show you the pixelated clip to see how well it did during that actual export. Now, before you go here, you can see you have video format. So you can really, right now, you have MP4, MKV, AVI, MOV, WebM, MXF. I'm going to pick MP4. What kind of decoder do you want, right? So I can even go to a 10-bit decoder. Bitrate, you can choose or put it in auto. I'm just going to keep it in auto, and then where it's going to go. So I'm going to hit apply. And what's kind of cool with this, actually, again, you'll see it's loading the AI model, but it actually plays the video and shows you what it's doing. So if you get to a point and you're like, oh no, it's missed it. I haven't actually had it miss yet, which is really impressive. So I'm going to show you the video here once this is done. All right, guys, so it's finished. And here's the video with my mug all pixelated.
All right, today is ATV day. We got a big group, and 16 ATVs. Oh yeah, and a side-by-side. So should be fun.
Okay, so hopefully you guys could see how well that actually tracked. I was actually quite impressed with that. Right now, though, we're going to try one of the other ones. So again, I'm going to bring up that video, same video, and load up that clip one more time. Same clip again. And what we'll do is we're going to do the background blur. Now, the face blur, I think, is cool, but probably not something that I would use a tremendous amount of time. But background blur, especially for those of us that are using a smartphone, again, or you just want your primary subject to have a bit more pop, a bit more focus. I'm just going to bring myself over to a clip where I'm a little larger here. Same idea. This time we're going to do background blur. So we're going to click on that. You have the same things. You have the ability to blur it, pixelate it, etc., and apply the blur strength. This one also has these little stickers you can put on. I'll try one right now just to see what happens in a preview. So if I click again the start preview mode, you'll actually see that. But the default blur strength is significant. Like it's heavy. And I'm guessing maybe in some scenarios that would be something you want. I mean, this is at 5. Honestly, for me, I'm going to bring this all the way down to like maybe even just like 2 or 1. And you'll see this change here in a minute. But that's already starting to look a bit better. I'm going to go, actually, can I get it just to 1 to 1? Because I don't want like the shoulder and all that to be too blurry. But that background's definitely getting some blur. And you can crank this up. So if you add a smiley face here, I'm not even sure what the smiley face does. If I click that, oh, it fills the background with the sticker. So I'm gonna say nay to that. I don't want that at all. Can I remove it? What if I don't want that? What if I don't want that? I seem to find that if you add this, oh, there's a little delete button right there, so you can delete that. Just realize it looks like you're deleting the whole blur layer. So if you do want to put a sticker on there, just realize. So I'm gonna go back again to background blur. Same idea. It is set at 1, but it does have that set up there, which I don't necessarily like, and I don't seem. There's no none. Like I don't want it. You know what I mean? There's no. I don't. There is a. No. Maybe this is an undo. There we go. There is an undo. So there we go. So we can just do the undo. And so if you put it on, you don't want it, you can kind of just undo. Because I want to get rid of course, that crazy smiley face back there. So there we go. So now we got the blur. We got it at 1. Just realize right there is the undo. So if you do put something on and you don't want it, you can undo it. I do wish that you could just click it on, click it off. That would kind of be nice. Anyways, I have done this video plus a couple other ones. So what I'll do is I'll put some music back there and I'll let you see the videos with some blur added to them, because that's kind of cool. Now, the other thing to realize, if you really want to, this is background blur. So if you wanted to, you could do foreground blur, and it's almost like the face detection where it actually takes the face blur, but you'll see it blurs the front. So if I crank that all the way up, it's going to use me as the mask, and you'll see it blurs very similar to the face blur, right? But I'm going to go back to background blur, and we're gonna take a look at those.
All right, today is ATV day. We got a big group, and 16 ATVs. Oh yeah, and a side by side. So it should be fun. All right, today is ATV day. We got a big group, and 16 ATVs. Oh yeah, and a side by side. So it should be fun.
Okay, so there you go. It actually does a really good job. You know, there are a lot of phones that have like a portrait mode in them for doing background. But, some cameras kind of bake it into the end result. So being able to play around with it, and I think it does a very good, it tracks really well. Like it actually tracks and masks very well. And you don't have to do anything, which is really nice. The other thing you can do if you want, you can do a fixed blur. So you can come in here and you can kind of select what you want to blur. If there's a certain section that you want to track, maybe I just want to track my glasses, you could do that. I'm not sure why, but maybe you do. Maybe there's a section that you want to blur out. You do have license plate blur. So if you are shooting something, and we see a lot of this with cars that are being filmed and they don't want their license plates, right? You can actually do a license plate blur, which is way easier to do with this than if you actually had to manually go in and kind of frame by frame and add keyframes and whatever to blur out the license. This, you just license, export, we're good to go. All right, guys, that's the AVC Labs Video Blur AI. I've been using their upscaler on occasion, which works pretty good. And their Blur AI, actually surprising. I'm impressed. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you there. I will put links down below if you guys are interested. And I will see you guys next video. Later.